Hi everybody. Today is Thursday, April 15th. But we just finished another Zoom call with our church, and I had to step away for a little bit because we were talking about just different racial injustices. And it's not something that I talk about a lot just in general. I think there's a little bit of weariness that's come lately. I think just with everything that's been happening, don't really want to talk about it, to be honest. I don't have, other than telling people about Jesus and learning to love and forgive people and learning to speak truth boldly, I don't have answers. And so it can be easy to be frustrated or just get disappointed by the way I see black and brown people treated, not just in this country, but across the world, really. And there came a point I just had to walk away from the conversation because it's tiresome. It gets tiresome to me. It gets to be a lot, and I don't really talk about it on here. But I did at one point say that I was going to just touch on it, and so I don't know. I don't know if that was the best time because I'm a little annoyed by it. But we'll just talk and see where it goes. So I will say that the first thing is I don't feel a big push to talk about issues of race and racism because I live it. I'm black. I've been black. I'm gonna be black. And I'm grateful for that. There was a time though when I was younger and I wished I wasn't black because I could see at a young age the difference between how black people were treated and non-black people were treated. And I remember being a little girl and thinking like, man, if I was white, my life would be so much easier. Yeah. I'm glad to be black because God made me and he didn't make mistakes, So I will say that fully embracing who God made me includes fully embracing my blackness and somebody else's whiteness and somebody else's Hispanicness, like all of it. But me being grateful for being black doesn't negate that it does get tiring to be constantly faced with the reality of the way the world sees me. And no, it's not the whole world, but it's enough. It's enough people who make decisions. It's enough people who are in positions of authority. It's enough people who are the faces that I see constantly. I went to predominantly white institutions when I was growing up, especially in college, and even, my work history, a lot of it was predominantly white institutions. And I've met some people who, have some hidden racism, some racist tendencies, tell jokes that I don't think are funny, make comments that I don't find funny at all. I think they're offensive. I've addressed some of them and sometimes been met with, okay, I didn't understand that. I see it now. And sometimes like, oh, you're being sensitive, which I don't know how you as a non-person of color can tell a person of color that, like, I don't understand racism, but that's okay. It's not something that I feel impressed, like I have to talk about much because I live it. I think it's pretty clear, especially as a Christian in the Bible, where, there's no defense of racism. There's even a place in the Song of Solomon where it talks about the beauty of someone's brown skin. It talks about people with hair like wool, Jesus with hair like wool, and God made and embraces and loves all different people groups, all different like ethnic groups, and I'm grateful for people who stand up and speak against racism when it's uncomfortable to do so. It's not surprising that a black woman is anti-racism, right? But when someone who doesn't look like me takes a stand against racism, I take notice and I appreciate it because it matters. It matters how you treat your children or how you teach your children about racism, about race, about color. It's not the work of black people to educate your children about racism. That's your job. That's your responsibility. And I appreciate when non-black parents are intentional about teaching their children not to develop racist tendencies or patterns, We live in a world that's full of evil, full of sin, full of darkness and brokenness and messed up people. Like, that's just a reality apart from God. And we all have to take a stand for the things that honor God, for what's right in our own spheres, right? And so we can't just wait until it hits our door or wait until somebody we love is directly affected. Be clear. When it comes to issues of race, I am directly affected every time. So if you, as a non-person of color, think that you're going to wait to address it until it hits someone who you care about or someone you know, or it's close to home, it's close to home. It's close to home. And honestly, I think sometimes I'm grateful for, I have two friends who I knew and grew up with who, in my opinion and in my experience with them, handled issues of race so beautifully. And that's Heather and Ruth. And if you know them, I'm pretty sure you can attest to that. Because they've been consistent. Like, they would ask questions, they wouldn't assume, ever learning, like listening, that understanding that you may not have this same perspective, but how could you, right? And so maybe listening to somebody else. So yeah, I don't have any other like concrete, like, this is what we need to do. I think we need to teach people. Honestly, the only thing that keeps me sane is my faith in Christ. Is knowing that Christ loves and esteems me in my blackness, and then also knowing that he loves me and that he protects me, and I can't let fear get into my heart. I can't start being suspicious about everybody who doesn't look like me. I can't be suspicious about all policemen, police women, police people. It's one of those things I don't talk about much because it cuts deep. It cuts deep, and yeah. I don't know if anybody else out there is like that. I don't know the racial demographic of the people who watch these videos or how far these videos will go, but the one thing I'll say is to my people of color, know you're not alone. Know that you have a God who affirms your pigment, affirms your melanin, loves you, celebrates it. And to my non-people of color, I hope that you are doing the work to make sure there's not any racism in your own heart or your own thinking. And if you have kids, if you have family members, that you're also doing your part to educate them, to teach them, Don't wait. You gotta be proactive, because while you're trying to figure out if your child needs to be taught to love all races, they're subconsciously learning to evaluate and to place a greater weight on whiteness than blackness. I saw someone put a post up recently, and they said, if you don't understand privilege, or you look at your life and say, I don't feel like I have privilege, I worked hard to get where I am, and I don't think that I'm a benefactor of privilege. Don't think about what you got that you feel like you deserved. Think about the obstacles you didn't have to go through. And I thought that was a really good way to look at privilege. Mistrust, assumption that they've done wrong, assumption that they are illiterate or uneducated, assumptions that if they voice their opinion or assert themselves, they're angry or they're going to get violent. I remember, there's just, it is hurtful. It is hurtful to see and hear all of the assumptions made about people who look like me. If I would let it, I would get into a place of just anger and stay there. But I'm grateful that God keeps me from going there. And there are times I have to pull back and be like, all right, Lord, I need your help with this one. And lately, these deaths, I'm grateful for the church. We gotta pray for each other. We gotta encourage each other. We gotta remind each other that there is more to this life than what we see. Anyway, I'm sorry, this video fell a little all over the place, and that's what I got. This is why I don't like talking about this, because there's just so much. There's so much. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go and talk to the Lord some more, and then I'm gonna go on with my evening. Yep. It's been a great day, otherwise, to be honest. It's been a great day. It's just some things I gotta... Yep. Anyway, thank you for watching. As usual, comment if you have something to say, if you want to give any input, have any insight. If you totally disagree, that's cool too. Let me know. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.